Happy holidays, everybody. I hope you all have a lovely holiday with your family, your loved ones. If you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, you name it, whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope it's a great one because you deserve it because it's been a freaking year, hasn't it? We are in turmoil over here. We don't know what's going to happen to our healthcare premiums. Inflation's up. Trump is saying that we shouldn't be buying like 26 Christmas presents. Like we buy 26 Christmas presents already. He says just buy three. I'm like, can people even buy one? This is ridiculous. And so I got to thinking this morning, not making it a political podcast. I promise you I won't. I was thinking this morning as we enter the Christmas season or the Christmas couple of days, what is my favorite Christmas movie? And the first title that comes to my head or came to my head is Last Holiday with Queen Latifah and LL Cool J. I love that movie. Every year I watch it I never miss a beat. I always watch it every year. My childhood best friend Daniel and I, that is our favorite Christmas movie. We watch it every year. And so what is yours? Because it's raining here in LA. The streets are flooded. And so I'm going to be home a lot more over the weekend. So let me know, what is a movie that you guys watch? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. So here's some inspo. Elf, remember Elf? What else? Home Alone, people say that. Grinch, Preacher's Wife. What else? Bad Santa. What's the one? There's the one with Bernie Mac. Is that the one, Bad Santa? Was that the one with Bernie Mac? I can't remember. There's Miracle on 34th Street. That's probably one of my oldest ones I remember. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of Christmas movies. Let me know what you guys watch. Or even if you don't watch like a theme, like is there a movie you just watch in general? If it's like Harry Potter, you know what I mean? Let me know. I gotta get some inspo. I think we all need inspo. I don't know. With the streaming and everything that's going on there, I'm like, you guys don't even create new stuff anyways. Other than the Diddy Doc, I never got to talk about the Diddy Doc, but that had me in a chokehold. Did it have you guys in a chokehold? And if it didn't, watch it. Watch it over the break because the way, allegedly, Diddy killed, apparently, Biggie and Pac. Both of them, he had a part, allegedly, in the killing of them. That's some crazy stuff. And it's like, I'm 31, and I love, like, hip-hop, and I love all that. So, and I don't know if people expect that from me, but I love hip-hop. Like, my Spotify thing was Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar. Because Minnie and I are losing weight over here. She got to lose 3 pounds. I'm losing like 30 plus. And so to get up the hill when hiking, it's Dr. Dre with Eminem, the gospel. It's the beat on that song gets me up that hike. I just have it on repeat and I get up there. And then anything Kendrick, I just love it. So I like hip hop. And so I know a lot about Diddy. I know about Biggie and Pac, but I'm also too young to know a lot of stuff because I wasn't really around then, or I was just a baby. I was born in 94. Watching it and seeing the footage of when Biggie got in the car and they drove off, like all of that was crazy. That was crazy. And you know what pissed me off is the juror. The juror really pissed me off. She was a fan. She was a fan of Diddy. How on earth? She is so stupid. Why on earth would you do this interview? She was such a fangirl. And the other guy was a fanboy. The whole trial is a mess and a disaster. And the people were fans. Where did they find these people from? But there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of unanswered questions, especially with Christian Combs and Diddy when they took that man into the bathroom. Then there was blood everywhere. And he was dead. Did they kill this guy? Like, this is crazy to me. And I just want you all to know, Diddy's sons aren't kids. They are my age. They're literally in their late 20s and 30s. And I think the youngest are like still teenagers. But I'm talking about the boys. They're grown adults. So if they did do something bad, they know better. They are adults and and the authorities need to handle it accordingly. The thing that shocked me the most though was that Diddy was filming behind the scenes like he was about to get off trial. And 6 days before the big trial, you could tell he was starting to get nervous because he was like, this isn't working. Nothing's working. I'm here in New York. I've been, going by the law, et cetera, but I still feel like something's wrong. He's recording all of this. Like he's going to make a victory documentary at the end of the year when he thought he was going to go scot-free. It was crazy. And then the part where he's like seeing the fans taking photos, shaking hands, and he gets in the car and is like, hurry up, give me the hand sanitizers. This is gross. Like just completely shitting on them is so insane. And it made me think, are a lot of celebrities like that? I mean, it kind of checks out. Like, I feel like your ego, you're touching so many people and your ego's so big. It's like, give me this vial. I got to do this for the photo. I wonder if a lot of people are like that. It's just that Diddy was dumb enough to film it. That's a narcissist. He's such a narcissist. He deserves way more time. He deserved way more time. And Jasmine and I on our podcast, we said that. We said he needs more jail time. And he does. This doc was amazing. It was so well done. And apparently 50 Cent has 100 hours worth of footage still. Also, how he got the footage is Diddy's regular videographer took some days off, so they had a replacement videographer. That replacement videographer didn't sign a form, didn't sign anything, and Diddy didn't account for him and his footage, so 50 Cent was able to get a hold of it and paid him for it. Man, rich people really are, especially when you're petty rich. That's crazy. And there's a long-standing beef between 50 and Diddy. So that's what made this documentary even more wow, is because 50 Cent had an agenda, because he's never liked Diddy. So they've always had beef. So he had an agenda to really make this doc, and he did a great job. And I can't remember the director's name. She's a woman, but she killed it. She absolutely killed it. I mean, she pieced the story together perfectly. It was like you would do flashbacks, so it was present day, and then they went back to when Pac was still around and what happened. Yeah, it was crazy. It was just so well done. So I'm ready for part 2. 50 said he might put it on YouTube, which I'm watching. I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching. So that's the Diddy Doc. What else did I want to talk about? Listen, the MAGAs, the arguments between the MAGAs, the fighting, the civil war everyone's talking about. So what that is, to summarize for those of you of the employed, unlike me who the unemployed, Erica Kirk is Charlie Kirk's wife. Charlie Kirk was killed and murdered, a few months ago over the summer. And so Erica Kirk took over his company called Turning Point. But there's been beef about who killed Charlie Kirk, where's the trial, what's going on, because there's not really a lot of conversation or investigation into it. Kash Patel is not on the case because he's stupid. So Candace Owens has been running defense, she's been investigating this case to what she assumes investigating is, right? To her best ability in her opinion. Erica Kirk, is going, and maybe her stage of grief is going around doing tours with sparklers and stuff. It's the strangest thing in the world. I just couldn't imagine someone so close to me passing away, dying so tragically, being murdered, and then going on his tour and doing all these big speeches and stuff. That's not how I grieve personally. Maybe that's how she grieves, but also Candace doesn't like it. Candace Owens didn't like it. And Candace Owens have been accusing, allegedly, Erica Kirk, Turning Point, all the people around them, of basically being part of the cover-up of Charlie Kirk's murder. It's really crazy. And then Erica Kirk and Candace had this one-on-one in-face meeting behind closed doors. And they've been, Candace has been going hard on Erica and Turning Point. And then all of a sudden, they have this meeting and Candace comes out okay, all the questions were answered, things are clear. And then she goes online and completely tries to backtrack a lot of her allegations. And then people got really pissed because it's they're following her. A lot of people follow Candace. A lot of people listen to her every word. So a lot of people started to believe her that Turning Point, Erica Kirk, kind of had, some weird suspicion about Charlie Kirk's death and Egyptian jets and some weird shit. I think Candace, in my opinion, supposedly, allegedly, saw a lot of the backlash, because she's making so much money from this. She's making so much money. And then now she's still doubling down that shit's still weird. It's the craziest. I don't know. The MAGAs are fighting. And then, so let's talk about this Turning Point USA convention culty thing. They have these big conventions across the country where people like Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, these really big, conservative MAGAs, Republicans across the board, come out and speak to a lot of youth across universities, etc. But they all hate each other. Ben Shapiro is calling Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens all anti-Semitic, saying that Megyn Kelly is a horrible friend because she's not sticking up for Erica Kirk, and they're not sticking up for Israel. And then Tucker Carlson's going after Ben Shapiro, saying that he's an asset to Israel and that he doesn't care about America. Like, this is all happening in front of us. Like, the Republican Party, the MAGAs, everybody, they're falling apart. And they're falling apart because they were held by one person, Donald J. Trump. And Donald J. Trump is falling apart. And everybody's identity is through Trump. And we're starting to realize that Trump isn't who he thought he was. Well, we all knew. But a lot of the MAGAs and a lot of Republicans that did vote and see him as this, like, amazing figure at the top of the helm. You know, he's the helm, head of the helm or whatever the fuck. Well, he's not anymore. Everyone's turning against Trump. And they're starting to realize that the MAGAs, JD Vance, all these idiots, don't have a backbone, and they're lame. They suck. JD Vance got booed. Everyone's getting booed. JD finally stuck up for his wife, Ursha. You know, she's of Indian descent. I don't even want to say she's Indian. She's American Indian. And he's a racist. And he goes on the podium and goes, "We no longer have to apologize for being white anymore." JD Vance, when did you apologize? Nobody apologized to me. Okay, nobody apologized to me for being white. And let me just say, I don't know why you would apologize. Why are y'all apologizing? Why is anybody apologizing? We should, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. This is just some weird culty stuff. The MAGAs, the Republicans, it's the strangest thing, but I'm watching, I'm paying attention. It really is crazy. The MAGA Civil War is what everyone's calling it. And, like, Candace Owens low-key is steering the ship. It's just crazy. I never in a million years thought that all of these people would turn on each other. Like, if you followed it over the years, like, if you know a couple of these characters, like a couple of these names, you would probably think the same as me. Especially turning against Trump. What happened to Dan Bongino? Because he quit, you know, a couple days before the Epstein files went released. Where's he at? So, also just PSA, the White House officially taking control of the U.S. Department of Justice Twitter account. So, you know, it's just a ratchet mess because they're just so it's just ratchet administration I've ever seen in my life. Making illegal redactions. Trump is being allegedly, supposedly accused of raping 13, 14, and 15-year-olds with Jeffrey Epstein. This is the worst cover-up, right? You have to admit, this is the worst cover-up ever of pedophiles. And I will say the shock of my life was Bill Clinton's statement. Did you guys see that? I won't even hide that I was shocked. I was not expecting it. Because I will say I thought Bill Clinton was 100% guilty. And maybe I fell for the trap a little bit with Trump, but I've been thinking about that for years. I've been thinking, and the reason why I stand by that statement is because regardless of the levels that he participated in, he was still within the same vicinity as victims. And we see that through pictures. Remember the one of him getting a massage? You're getting a massage from a victim. You're putting your hand around someone's waist for a photo, a victim's and survivor's waist for a photo. And you're going to tell me, and you've been in a couple of them, you've flown on the jet and stuff, and we all know from Virginia Giuffre's memoir that stuff happened on the jet, Epstein's jets as well, not just on the island, which people need to understand. It's not just the island. It happened in hotel rooms, it happened on jets, it happened in people's houses. I was not expecting this statement, and I'll read it from Angel Urena, who is President Bill Clinton's head of comms PR. On behalf of Bill Clinton, said this, quote, "The Epstein Files Transparency Act imposes a clear legal duty on the U.S. Department of Justice to produce the full and complete record the public demands and deserves. However, what the Department of Justice has released so far, and the manner in which it did so, makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected. We don't know whom, what, or why. But we do know this. We need no such protection. Accordingly, we call on President Trump to direct Attorney General Bondi to immediately release any remaining materials referring to, mentioning, or containing a photograph of Bill Clinton. This includes, without limitation, any records that may exist and are subject to discourse under the Act, Public Law 11938, enacted November 19, 2025, including grand jury transcripts, interview notes, photographs, and findings by the United States Attorney of the Southern District of New York, as referenced under oath to Congress by President Trump's first-term Attorney General. Refusal to do so will confirm the widespread suspicion that the Department of Justice actions to date are not about transparency, but about insinuation, using selective releases to imply wrongdoing about individuals who have already been repeatedly cleared by the very same Department of Justice over many years under presidents and attorney generals of both parties. Bill Clinton said release it all the information on him. And I'm sorry, but like, someone who we would assume is completely guilty wouldn't ask that unless they're willing to die on the Hill, or unless they know that they will never do that because of who's in the files. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do want to say, I still stand by that President Bill Clinton is a horrific person. And he is involved in this in one way, shape, or form. And the reason why I say that is because I believe the survivors and victims. I believe them when they say that he was there. I believe them when they say that he knew. Now, I think that Bill Clinton is absolutely an adulterer. I think that he is a nasty cheater. I think he abused his power. And this is all confirmed with Monica Lewinsky, right? Like, let's just put that right then and there. He used his abuse of power on her. She was a 19 to 20-year-old. Young as heck. He was like, what, 50? He has used his abuse of power in ways that one should never, and I think is illegal, especially if someone of such high, he was the president. Are you kidding me? He's the president. He had all the power, especially back then. A lot of men did, and we're seeing this through the Epstein case. See, now I'm a bit confused with this statement, because do I think that Bill Clinton had sex with the victims and survivors? Yeah. In my personal opinion, yes, I do. Do I think that with the minors, why would someone put out a statement like that if they were guilty with that part? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the most horrific thing you could do, is assault, rape, vile things to a minor. Do I think Bill Clinton did it with just going off that statement? No, because he would be an absolute effing idiot to put out a statement like that, and then we come and find out that he's actually in it a lot more worse than we thought, right? But I do stand by that he is guilty of something. Yes. I think even regardless, you are within the same vicinity as the minors. They look young. You should put two and two together as the president of the United States, and just like, and even beyond, right? Like after his presidency, right? I absolutely think Bill Clinton knows a lot more than he puts out. And that's just what it is. I think he's absolutely guilty of something, yes. But I don't think he's at the same level as the co-conspirators that were listed. So there were 10 co-conspirators listed within the files. Of course, Pam Bondi redacted the names. I don't think Bill Clinton's one of those 10. That's just my gut feeling, just from what I've read, the evidence that we've seen, the statements that Bill Clinton came out with. That's where I'm at right now. However, I am absolutely ready to correct the record on whoever, whenever, and out whoever I need to within this sex trafficking ring. That's not an issue for me. I don't give a damn. I still think Bill Clinton should see some jail time, in my opinion. Yeah. Lock them all up. Anyone that Epstein touched, had involvement with, went on the jet with, alone with minors and young girls, young women. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it's a no for me. It's an absolute no for me. You got to go to jail. The survivors have been let down for decades. And Bill Clinton's a part of that decades. You know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton's a part of it, unfortunately. But do you see where I'm going with all the speculation and just the allegeds and just my opinion, my views? Because they need to release the files so we can get accurate facts. I'm just going off everything that I've read, and I really do take time to read emails, to analyze photographs, to go through social media and people that are, because a lot of independent podcasters are reporting it, especially also just independent journalists, like on Threads and stuff. I use Threads a lot because people are posting proof, people are posting links, etc. There's a lot of conversation going on there, and I'm going to keep the pulse because, yeah, I mean, according to the evidence I have seen, it's very bad for Bill Clinton. And it's just very bad. It's very bad for Bill Clinton and a lot of people, including Trump. And you all know why I'm saying that. Whether we want to say it right now or not, I know we have to wait for proof because Pam Bondi and all of those horrific pedophile sympathizers are redacting the names. Oh, and they're not even redacting the victims' names. Victims who have not been public, who have not gone public, they are now public because of Pam Bondi. But Donald Trump, nope, not Donald Trump. They're protecting Donald Trump, and we all know why, and I cannot wait for the day I am able to freely say it. I don't know, Bill. I just think, why not just come out and say it all? What disgusting, vile times we live in where we're protecting these pedophiles, these men, these horrific people. And now Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. You know what the best Christmas present would be? The best Hanukkah present would be? The best Kwanzaa present would be? Is if they released every single file. But that ain't happening. That is not happening. Well, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you. I will be doing an episode before the new year. Maybe I'll do 2025's greatest hits and just talk shit. Because that's what I like doing, to be honest. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Talk to you later.